So hello and welcome to my home. It is, I've lost track now, day 12, 13 of my self-isolation, and today I thought I would have a go at doing some macro. Now I know probably a lot of other photographers as well who are stuck in self-isolation are also doing the same sort of thing. But anyway, I thought I'd give you my take on it. I actually think that getting good macro photography, especially of wildlife, is one of the hardest things you can possibly do. It's hard enough doing water droplets and all that kind of thing. But when it comes to animals that move, it's even harder because you have to nail focus as well. And you can't rely on autofocus with these cameras either because they just fish around too much. The depth of field is so shallow. Even at shooting at f8 or f11 or even f16, you have an incredibly shallow depth of field to play with. So you have to basically, the generally accepted best technique is to set minimum focus and then move yourself towards and away from whatever it is that you're photographing to achieve perfect focus, and then take picture as quickly as you can, do multiple shots as well, so that at least one of them might be nailed. So what I've done is I went out into the garden earlier and I found an old leaf which looks rather nice and it's got lovely textures on it. I found this fantastic old bit of wood, a branch that is rotting away slowly and has got some fantastic texture to it. I found a fresh leaf as well, a nice green leaf, and a couple of other sticks and bits and bobs. And I've also found a little spider, and I might nip into the garden again to see if I can find a snail or something like that once they start waking up in the evening. See if we can photograph one of those as well, maybe. We'll see if I can find one. And hopefully the spider won't escape because they're really, really quite jumpy, these spiders. It's not a jumping spider. Unfortunately, I couldn't find one of those. In fact, I had a really hard time finding any spiders at all. I think it's probably still quite early in the year, and they're still hibernating or still underground because the weather's just too cold for them. So anyway, I managed to find a little spider, so I'll get him out in a minute and put him on here. Let him settle in hopefully for a little bit, and then we'll follow him around wherever he moves, trying to photograph him as best we can. I've also set up my scrim as a backdrop here, which just is out of focus enough with the shallow depth of field that creates a nice a smooth out of focus green background. I'll see if it works or not. It might be a little bit too much green because the branch is quite green as well, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not, generally speaking, a big fan of flash photography for macro. I mean, I've only got this set up here and also the studio lights, which we'll have a go at. So basically we're going to have two setups to have a go with. One with the on-camera flash with diffuser and one with the studio light that's above me now. It's just set on the modeling light at the minute, so it won't flash as well whilst I'm using this flash. So that we can get clear separation between the two examples. Like I said, I'm not really generally a fan of artificial light. Most of the macro work that I've done has always been natural light in very bright conditions out in Greece. But we'll give it a go and see what results we can come up with. So yeah, I'll just get the spider and we can have a go. Back in a moment. Okay, so I've got my little spider in here somewhere. And all I have to do is try to find him and get him out onto this bit of wood. Now he's really, really jumpy. Okay, so he's on the bit of wood. Lost him again. The camera can pick him up. No, don't go underneath. Not that way. one of these species of spiders that likes to stay upside down. Stay there. Okay. Finally, I've got him into a position I can photograph him. I say him. It might very well be a her. Okay. So let's see what on-camera flash gives us. I'm on manual focus as well. And I've set it f8 at 1/60th of a second at ISO of 640. So let's just take a shot or two and see what we get. Like I said, I've set the camera to manual focus and it's on minimum distance, and I just move in and out until I gain focus. Oh no, don't move. Move again. Just when I thought you'd settle down. I can work with that. He's got a very grumpy little face. Not quite sharp, so I'm going to try again. I might have to increase my depth of field. The light's not too bad. Oh, I quite like that. Not bad at all. I have to flip it over in post. Let's see if I can go on this way around. Okay, it's actually quite nice, but too dark. So I'm going to up my. And to shoot at f11, I have to increase my ISO. So, where's he gone again? What is it they say about working with children and animals? Okay, so there we go. I'm trying to get a straight on shot of his little face. And I don't know if this is going to give me a shot or not, because he's right underneath that. At last I got the shot I was after, and the background looks great and the light looks great, so I think I'm going to call it quits. I'm not going to try with the studio light after all, because I think I've given him a hard enough time, and even though he hasn't made it that easy for me, but I just got the shot that I'm happy with, so I don't want to make it any harder for him. And I'll put him back in the tub. take him out and release him. And whilst I'm out there, I might try and find something else to photograph, so I shall be back in a little while. Okay, so I'm back again, and unfortunately I didn't find any snails that we could photograph. It's pitch black out there now, so I was using my torch hunting around. But I did find a different spider. So I've put him in this tub, and I'm hoping that he will not be as jittery as the previous one. And he might give us an opportunity for some more shots. He's a different species of spider. Just pop him down. Oop, just jumped off me. Also, whilst I was off camera, what I did was I set the studio light up. Why does he keep jumping off the leaf? So I set up the studio flash, and because this is a lot more powerful than the on-camera flash. Oh, he's moving again. Come on. I've actually reduced the ISO down to 250, shooting at f11 1/60th. He's just balancing right on the tip here of the leaf, and I think he's probably going to jump off again. So my settings are slightly different from what they were before. With the speed light, because obviously this is a lot more powerful. It's also a lot flatter, more diffused light, because of the softbox, big huge softbox that I've put on it. Try and get him into a different background than the previous guy to get a slightly different photo. Okay, so he's not bad there. Let's see. Oh, amazingly, he's starting to web. Must have been just an anchor line. Like jumping spiders, they tend to throw an anchor line, a safety line, when they jump, so that if they don't manage to land on anything, they can pull themselves back up again. So I guess that's what he was doing just then as well. So it's a game of patience, this, with little bugs on here. It's gone off again. Any luck, he'll just settle there for now for a moment. One of the hardest things trying to film. This spider is dead set on moving around. Okay, so I think I'm going to have to release this little guy as well because he's just being too difficult, and I'm scared that I'm going to hurt him. I think he's a kind of orb weaver spider, a very little one. Not being an expert, I could be totally wrong. Right, I'm going to put him back in the garden. I'll show you those pictures right now, but it goes to show you how difficult it is to get decent shots of a tiny spider. So more appreciation for the guys who do this professionally, because they come up with some amazing shots that look incredible, and it's difficult to know how they do it, but there you go. Anyway, so I thought it might be a little bit of fun for you to have a go at home. You can either try, if you've got studio gear like this, it's a much better source of light than the speed light, but the speed light is okay. And I'll show you the ones that I did with the speed light, and I'll label them as such so you know the kind of lighting that you can get with a speed light. It is pretty good. So yeah, thanks again for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Watching me struggle with a couple of spiders. And yeah, until next time, again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.